Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Previously on Kimba TV. Okay, we should have had a bullish pullback. Let the games begin. I mean, all the liquidity is to the bottom. All the liquidity is to the bottom. Yeah, because if you were gonna degen, you would have already been filled, right? Because then you're gonna hope for some shit like this. We're so close to the thangity thang thing up top, you know? Sorry, I'm a little bit late. You know I had to spank a little TP after I spanked a little TP. Oh my goodness, y'all. I mean, you just gotta be patient, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta be patient, y'all, and the math is the math. I closed, well, we'll get caught up, y'all. I'll show you my order history. I did not mean to close the whole thing. And I actually am in a small long right now because I forgot to close some of my shit. I forgot to cancel some of my shit. I would have rather had at least 50 or 75 on the short still running. My goofy ass closed the whole thing. I'm actually in a small long. So we'll get caught up and do some TA. I'm gonna go let us up here as well. Everybody good? Yes, 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 but not too bad. But I mean, just make sure that you're caught up on the plan. Nothing has really changed, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm not gonna get like super bearish. You know, there's maybe one more level if it loses this 29.9 for like a 400 sweep, and then it's off to 28.8. Oh. M-Shell says, missed the 31.4 sweep, didn't trust the blind limit buy. That's okay. But that's why you want to be good at looking at the order flow, M-Shell. You're not blindly putting in a limit. You're kind of anticipating the sweep to happen. Here, I don't think, so I'm going to delete these lines because they both swept, okay? So here's your sweep, okay? And here's this sweep. The next possible sweep, you already know. There you go. So that would be next one, and that's really the only other sweep. This is probably not going to be a sweep, and I don't know if you really want to go down that far. To be honest with you, I don't know if I'm longing 28.8. This sweep, I would maybe take one more shot, but you know, we kind of talked about how you really wouldn't want to lose that if you wanted to maintain bullish structure. Alrighty. I closed all of my short, and I'm in a baby long, and let me activate that VPS. Trader SA Silvira, bonjour Amalis. What's going on, HKP? Everybody saw the realized P&L, right? Not that it's really that important, but Void says, how was Hawaii? Bro, you are like a month and a half behind schedule. You need to get caught up on the YouTube. Soto says, do you have stop loss? I'm going to put it at break even, bro. Here. Look, so I TP'd all of the short, okay? 195. I also got into longs because I had blind limits set. So does that make sense? This long is not that great. I wouldn't mind if I still had maybe 50 or so on the short actually still running, okay? But as you guys can probably understand, I had all of my TP set, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want another fucking shit show to happen and me not be able to TP, right? Like, we have to learn from what happened before, you know? So ain't no way I was in a short like that from 31.5 and I didn't have all my TP set, so. But, you know, honestly, it's really not that difficult, y'all. I don't think it's really that difficult, you know? Set the level, understand what you're looking for, put, you know, an alert a couple $100 before, and then watch it approach. Okay, yeah, there you go. So, I mean, I got blindly filled. I don't know if this is like what you should be in. I had all of my limits all filled and shit. Okay, so I TP'd the whole short, basically all the way through 30,000 and 29.9, and then I had limits from 29.9 all the way to 29.8 or something like that, and I got one filled for 50. You guys want to know something cool? I'm getting ready to do the 24/7 position stream on YouTube too. So once I get the S&P stream up and running, then it'll be the MEXC stream. So whenever you guys, you'll be able to watch the stream and see me get filled and TP and all that shit, even if I'm not streaming. Okay, the only reason why I'm in this long is because I had blind limit TPs set for both the short TP. Because do you guys remember last week when I couldn't TP at the bottom? I wasn't gonna let that shit happen again. So I had all my TPs in, and it just so happened to TP me. I was doing work shit, and then I started to get like the MEXC notifications on my phone. 50,000 contracts executed, 100,000 million contracts. Like I was like, fuck. Tigran, how far is your stop loss when you play with blind limits? About $200 to maybe like $200, $300, Tigran. But there's really no right or wrong, okay? Like there's certain times when I mean, Tigran, you've been here for the last couple weeks. I am playing with massive profits. So I can afford to do that. Had I taken a bunch of losses, I would have never done it blind. But have you guys also been noticing that it's not giving you a chance to re-enter like on some golden pocket shit? It's usually at the 382. You know, you just have to adapt. You can't just sit there and do the same thing over and over. You have to adapt a little bit, right? So what were the biggest things that we learned last week? It's not going to give you a golden pocket retrace. You're lucky if it gives it to you. You're probably gonna have to catch a 382 pullback. All right. And yeah, we already talked about these levels, so all right. But the biggest thing that we learned was just in case the exchange shits itself, put your TPs in. I had them and I just forgot to cancel. I think it's going to sweep the yellow line. It could. You theoretically wouldn't want it to happen. You understand that, right? So like if I was gonna do like a 200 Bitcoin from this sweep, I would probably only do like 120 Bitcoin long from the 29.5 because it's not that great. It's not so much about like whether you think it's gonna sweep that or not. It's just understanding that if it does go sweep 29.5, it's not as great as you think it would be. That's not that great. So sometimes it's not about getting the best entry. You have to understand market structure. We talked about it last week and on Monday. It wouldn't be that great to sweep 29.5 again. It really wouldn't. But it is possible, and could it still sweep and bounce? For sure. But it's not as bullish as you think it is. As long as you understand that, then you understand your risk. And you know, if it just nukes through it, you're not surprised. So as long as you're not the guy that's like, oh, what the fuck, when it nukes through, then you're fine. As long as you know that that's very, very possible. Do you think it'd be correct to play golden pocket short into 29K? No. This is bullish. Yeah. So I mean, do you guys remember when I was talking about how I don't want to really go any higher than this zone? Because if you leave this here, it's bullish, and I'm gonna be looking to long. I'm not gonna get, you know what I mean? Nothing has changed. That's why the higher time frame stuff that we spent so much time talking about is really important. So in my opinion, like this was really, really bullish. But we still have to get above like all of these resistance zones. And so it really needs to do some shit like this structurally for me to really feel like we Gucci. We might not have enough people trapped. I could see them doing this. Golden pocket. I could see them doing one more sweep, to be honest with you. I could see one more because I don't know if you heard, but I had limits to the 786, 886. Okay. I had it like this. My box of entries was like that. I had the 786, 886. That's why I only got one of my entries hit. I got the 29.9. That's the only one I got. Okay, but right now, isn't this like pretty fucking normal? Nukes through golden pocket, bounces off of 786. What would be the normal reaction we would see? Probably go to 0.5 or 382 and then get shit on, right? And then it's still gonna have to turn this bitch into support. We already know that. We see this shit all the time. So it's inconclusive. So for me, that means that it has to do something like this. I just drew that, right? It has to do something like this for me to even think like the long is good. Okay. But my whole thing was I thought it was gonna come all the way to 886 and then go. So I'm not, I don't know. I don't know about this long. It's only because, you know, I left it blind and it got hit. Coke Zero says, I don't pay attention to the money, pay attention to your trade. 100%, 100%. Yes. Because like, I don't know what my P&L on this long was, but I'm not trying to maximize profits. I think if you start to like look at the money and you're trying to like maximize profits, you're not gonna really give yourself enough opportunities or sample sizes for the math to play out, right? So for me, for example, you guys already know, I'm watching this 6-6 reaction, right? I'm also gonna be watching this reaction. You know, and I don't really care about maximizing profits. Otherwise, I would have like stopped it out already. I rather see this reaction. I want to see if it's going to do that or if it's going to do that. And I rather focus on this part. And so I can use this knowledge over and over and over again. And it's worth way more than the 15 or 20 or 30K. Yeah. So don't look at your P&L. Just do the math, you know, and eventually everything will catch up. What's the target zone for your long? I guess 32, but we have golden pockets that it has to beat, right? It has the swing high, swing low, golden pocket. You see that? You see that guy from China waiting? Do you see the guy from China waiting? Okay, so we need to blast through. Hopefully that's Binancio Magneto. Hopefully that's a spoofer magoofer. But nothing's really changed, Lethy. Okay, it's really about understanding the higher time frame stuff, right? Okay, like we're not gonna get bearish. Okay, if we leave liquidity to the top, we all understand that it's bullish. Yeah. Okay, we left this. That's really good. We left this. That's bullish as fuck. You know, could it like go to here, sweep one more time, and then go? Sure. You know, the smaller time frame stuff, y'all know, I'm not really that great at it. The higher time frame stuff is a lot easier to kind of understand. So this sweep short is done, liquidity tapped. This sweep long is done, liquidity tapped. You know, we don't really do like the predicting the future type of bullshit, but I could totally see swing high, swing low, golden pocket, sweep, and then go for higher highs. Okay? Or golden pocket, and there's also a chance that it just completely nukes through as well. So it's really, and then here, and then for me, it's either this or this. This is literally for me the higher time frame pivots. This is it. Like this will guide me for like 2 weeks. And we can't forget this possibility too. That's it. And so when one happens, I erase the other probabilities in my mind, you know, and then wait. It's literally just level to level. And based off of this, you can figure, like if you don't want, like let's say you have a long entry here with me and you don't like this, you're gonna be freaking out when people are like making fun of you, you're gonna be affected. You know, if you're gonna get triggered on this, then you need to like close it and then figure out if you wanna re-enter or not. You know, if you can nut up and you're okay with seeing all that disappear from your unrealized because you don't wanna really get in and out and do all that crap, then, you know, you can at least figure out what you wanna do. All right, so that's kind of and the cool thing is that's just if we actually get here, right? There's a whole nother plan where it does this first. like that. Yeah. So let's see how the gammas close. I'll report back to you guys. Let's see how the traditional markets close, because this is what S&P looks like, y'all. I don't know if you're looking at S&P. You guys seeing this? So, you know, is there any of this gap that they're going to try to close in the next 2 hours? You know, do we pull back down? You know, the gap to the upside is interesting, right? There's that one and that one. So it's almost like, even if it doesn't close the whole gap, like, you know, it's kind of, anyways. Alrighty, probably some sort of like, because what I'm hoping is that it's got like some weird like div, like a bear div going on. So even that would help us out, right? Although I don't think it's gonna. And then you got this going on too. So it could do like a golden pocket Kimba box type of thing and close and then start to pull back. So in the shorter time frame, we'll see what happens, what S&P wants to do, what traditional markets wants to do. I'm sure it's going to impact it a little bit. I wish there was a easy answer. The best thing would be for us to see it live, okay? But I would prefer this. So not only do you stop everybody out, okay, there's some sort of mathematical thing that holds, but it's a little bit hard to tell, you know. Could it sweep? Yes, and you still have another candidate down here as well. Yeah, I'm trying to stay here as long as I can so we can see this shit together. So that's, remember, like we were talking about all the scenarios I wanted. I wanted the scenario where it swept, but it didn't go to the daily, you know, and we were talking about how the higher that it went, it was going to lose the bullishness, you know? So then the next scenario will be to sweep that. But then I talked about how that's not as, you know, cause I was like, then it might actually sweep this. Oh, yo, you can't even see my mouse. But yeah, we kind of talked about all the different scenarios of what I would ideally want. Yeah, and so basically, the way that I saw it, especially after the golden pocket bounce, okay, because this is what happened. Okay, so we would go swing, swing, look. So when I saw that meta, if it wasn't going to be the sweep and if it was going to try to tap like daily levels and stuff like that, it was not great for me. So I was going to just stop myself out right here. Like we're on 822, I mean 825, but you see that guy? That was me, just kidding. But right, like 825. So if I was gonna really like, if it was going to, it was gonna have to be something like that. Yeah, because that tapping that would have really kind of thrown me a curveball. But it's actually done exactly what we wanted. It did the 31.5 sweep and left that, you know, which is what the confluence was to actually get into the long. Yeah, but you know, it's hard to say, Meta. Yeah, but did you see my size? So there was 50 more that I would have gotten filled on. 1, 2, 3, 4, stop loss. So I had 50 more, and for a total, it would have been 250. So I did have more. I basically had it exactly how we drew it, like the 31.5 sweep to the 31.755. And I just made it a little bit more bottom heavy. That was all it was. Yeah, and I'm telling you, Meta, like it's working out for me. But I will be the first to tell you that it's not always like this. In an alternate reality, I'm sure it did some bullshit like this. You know, and I'm talking about, oh my God, guys, I should have had a stop loss a little bit higher or some bullshit. You never know. I'm glad that it worked out. Yeah, I mean, a lot of shit is working out for us, but it's not going to always be like this. And if for some reason, like you had a short, but you got stopped out or something, I wouldn't really be too hard on yourself. You know, but that being said, though, did we not? We said that the ideal, you know, shorting was somewhere between the 315 sweep, right? And, you know, we were also talking about how the 29.5, you know, long, it should be a new yearly high. So look at that. So we did identify this as where you would be wanting to. So really putting your stop loss right there or whatever, it really isn't that big of a deal, you know, at the end of the day, because your risk reward is looking something like this. Let's say that mine was 825, right? So that's 829. And if I had gotten everything filled, that's the trade setup. That's not too bad, mathematically speaking. And so does it really matter that much? Like this is 930. You're kind of nickel and diming at that point, you know? And to be honest with you, this is a great example of how high leverage can actually hurt you more than it can help you. You might be thinking to yourself, oh, like I can borrow more money, blah, 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 and it's a bigger position, but it also makes you pussy out a little bit, or you don't let the full range of the mathematical probabilities to play out. So whether it's 150, 200, whatever your buffer is, it's really not that big of a deal. If it's not a sweep, I think you're going to know pretty quickly. Right now, I don't know what's going to happen. There's not enough data, but you have to be cognizant of that as well. So like you definitely, if you are in a long, not only does your, you got to get above like the 300, you have to clear all these levels. And unfortunately I would go swing high, swing low. The golden pocket is going to be around here. So once we can do that, then I know we're going to be able to make a higher high. We're going to probably go to 32. All right, but don't forget about the higher time frame stuff and pay attention to that. So, you know, you're gonna have to do your best. Everything that we've talked about, whether it's order flow, divs, you know, open interest, CVD, throw all that shit in there. Just do your best. I'm gonna try to do my best as well. I don't have any limits right now. I have none. The only thing that I have is a stop loss for this in tiny profit. So as we talked about, if you lose this 6.6 and you lose this 6.6, then you've got a very high probability you're going to make a lower low, you know? So I definitely wouldn't do like a 7.86, 8.86 on the smaller one. You know, it's either like you're going to hold that bitch or it's going to bounce off 7.86, or you might as well wait, because I think it's going to, you know, the probability says it's got a higher chance of making a lower low. So it's like, if you're a bull, you really want that to hold. And you want to probably break above this 5.8 or 5, right? Like that's really last line of defense, you know? Maybe they're going to try to sweep those fuckers right there, you know? That would be some sort of Kimba box breach. And that might be the go-go. I think that's it. I can't remember the last time we had this much Binancio Magneto. It's pretty exciting, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't had Binancio Magneto for quite some time, and I mean, you're looking at, what is this? 911 Bitcoin longing 30,150, 1,300 longing 30,000, 900 Bitcoin longing 29.8, and this Kimba gang member is 1,300 Bitcoin at 29.5. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Maybe they're going to spoof as usual. That would be my interpretation as well. I think the higher probability that it pulls the price down that way and then it spoofs. So this does kind of lend itself as confluence, okay, to maybe a potential 29.4. Oh my God, if there's a 29.420, 29.450 sweep, and I can get into like 1,000 Bitcoin long and the motherfucker actually works, holy shit. Okay, but we also spent like 45 minutes this morning talking about how going to 29.5 is literally like last resort, because the minute you start tapping 29.3, 29.2, the selling pressure is gonna just take over. There's really not much you're gonna be able to do to stop, and it's gonna be like 28.8. So, yeah, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's the 29.9, 29.8 div or a sweep. That's possible. Okay, you've got the 29.5 sweep. That's possible. I think those are the only two sweeps. I don't think you're going to sweep at the 28.8 fib. There's nothing to sweep at 28.8. So yeah, that's not a sweep play. The only two sweeps you really have is the sweep of the other sweep. Okay, which for me would be why I would rather have a 7.86, 8.86, you know, thing here. You can sweep 29.5 and then that would be it. No POC volume 29.2. There could be, but I'm not going to put it, I'm not going to give it, I wouldn't mark that as a POC. You could see a small bounce from there, but in my opinion, brother, it's like if you lose 29.5, bro. Yeah, so I think this, I don't know what you're seeing, but could there be a little bit? I'm sure. For me, it's a little bit more like 28.8. But man, like if it's not going to sweep that, then you could be looking at that. I think all that comes into play. Yeah, so really the only long that I think you would see me in is either I add more in here, or I get stopped out and I'm in from this sweep. That's it. You know, and the only other short is really like a 31.8, 32.5, 32.6. Those are really the only shorts. I would only be in a short on higher highs at this point. That doesn't mean like you can't take the juicy one. Like if this does bounce, you know, I'm sure there's going to be a nice little short opportunity there. I'm not really interested in that one though. So, you know, I would love if this, you know, if it wants to sweep one more time. Okay, I'm okay with that. That would be an interesting sweep as well. You know, it's like the gods give me one more chance or something like that. But yeah, aside from that, you know, if we wake up and we're down here again, not that big of a deal. I could also see something like this too. If you go dang 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 to the dang dang dang, okay, like that's, I kind of like this as well. I kind of like that too. I like that too. So, alrighty. So yeah, so for now you've got the smaller fib, you got golden pocket, and then you've got all the Binancio magnitos down there. So I mean, this is Crayola. It's not that big of a deal, but like the 1,300s are pretty interesting, right? 30,000 and 29.5. And we kind of already talked about, and this is the smaller golden pocket, so don't forget about the bigger picture, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and even if you do get a bounce, okay, even if you do get a bounce, you still need to get above these levels and turn that. So it's a lot of work. Okay, just because there was a quick move up and a quick move down, it's not going to be like that on this one. It's probably going to wait until futures kick in with more volume or international markets open. China maybe, but most likely, you know, U.S. market opening in the morning, it should get pretty hot. Soto says, Ape, new lower low. We already talked about Ape. I'm looking for $1 or lower. 60 seconds left on the song. All right, y'all, I'm going to rush to the airport. Let's see if there's an opportunity to add. So, you know, we'll be watching the 786, 886, Binancio Magneto. Sweep of a sweep is probably the more probable, in my opinion. I think there could be a sweep of a sweep. So I think the 786, 886 entries that I originally had is probably where I would prefer. But ain't nothing wrong with the Kimba box either. So, yep. So yeah, the levels are still the same. The smaller time frame stuff, I'm not really sure, but you know, 29.9, 29.5 are possible sweep areas for the long. All right. And then anything, you know, in between, you're just basically trying to get back on the train, kind of like now. But if for some reason structure is lost and it wants to do a sweep again, that's possible too. So, all right, you guys, long or short, I'm rooting for you guys. I'm already out of the short. Alrighty, so on to the next plan, 29.9, 29.5, very interesting areas. All right, if 29.5 is not a sweep, then I think, I think the 27 levels are a little bit better to wait for a long, so. And if for some weird ass reason we make a higher high, then, 31.7, 31.8, 32.4, 32.5, 32.6 are areas that I, would look for short. So I got to get out of here. I am rooting for you guys. All right, perfect. All right, you guys, I'm going to miss you. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Sato, take us out.
Listen up, you. Oh, it's the truth I speak. Kimber is my name, trading is my game. Bitcoin is my focus, charge all my guide. Profit is my goal, so I never step aside. It is just mathematics, a few trading tactics. Fibonacci is my mate, golden ratio on my mind. You got to respect the trend, or you'll be left behind.